Okay, I think we're here. Welcome to Garden of the Spirit, the class studying apples from the orchard for the second time beginning after Pesach 2014. This class meets in Long Meadow, Massachusetts, the center of the universe, and is held in memory of Malka Ruth Bas Moshe, Margaret Vogel, blessed memory. Apples from the Orchard contains selections of teachings of Kabbalah from the Arizal, Rabbi Yisrael Luria, based on the weekly Torah portion, superbly translated and explained by Rabbi Moshe Wisniewski. Okay, welcome everybody. Everybody? Okay. So we are here on page 705. Rudy's trying. We're here on page 705. And today we talk about the issue of a sota, suspected adulteress. Hello, Rudy.
Hi. Oh, Schnitzelmacher.
You're missing the schnitzel, Rudy.
The
one day you decide to stay home.
Yeah.
Okay, I do need to add, there's things I would like to add on the notes. Maybe I'll change afterwards. But here we go. I didn't think of that. When I sent it, I didn't have anything ready. I did this all late. Okay, and then we have Mincha today will be at 7:45, 35 minutes. Now, the Torah explains the procedure for a sota when a man suspects his wife of having an affair. The Torah uses an unusual expression. A spirit of jealousy passes over him. V'ruach kina. V'avar alav ruach kina. A spirit of kina. And here I translate jealousy. But the Hebrew word kina can mean jealous or zealous. So usually you think of jealous as being somebody else has something that you don't have and you want it. Zealous means that you are very committed to an ideal. I don't know what does zealous mean.
With no rhyme or reason goes forward.
Or perhaps, thank you, or perhaps an ideologue. No, you give me a strange look there. Let's see what. I didn't have a lot of time to prepare today. Yeah. Okay. Here we are. I don't know, a zealot, an ideologue, someone who acts, or extremist. So jealous or zealous. And the warning a man gives his wife is the same word, kin'ah. The Torah uses it as a verb. V'kineas ishto means he imposes an official warning of jealousy or of zealousy. Some words just aren't given to translate. So, but anyways, so that is a lot of what we're going to say today is focused on that word. And I don't want to just get fixated on jealous with the negative connotation of jealous. Just keep in mind that it means to be, what do we say? Zealous, to be extremist or okay. The Talmud highlights the unusual use of the word ruach, spirit. It says, "V'avar alav ruach kina," a spirit of jealousy or zealousy. Tana Dvei Rabbi Yishmael. In the yeshiva of Rabbi Yishmael, they taught, Ein adam mekane lishto elim ke nichnas ba ruach, that a person only gives this warning to his wife only if some kind of spirit enters him, because the Torah uses the word ruach. And Rabban Amri ruach tuma. The rabbis say what kind of spirit is a spirit of impurity, that he is motivated. We'll get there. And Ravashi amar ruach tara. So I didn't translate the Hebrew yet. That one, his motivation for warning her is to maintain high standards of modesty. It is purity that motivates him to give her this official warning. And the other opinion says it's only a spirit of impurity. And I know it's not filled in. I have to fill in the whole thing. I have to change the whole thing. Only from a spirit of impurity, that means that his motivation to warn her is mistrust and suspicion. So where does this come from? I should add, very important, that this week we read the parsha of Pinchas. And Hashem says, B'kan'o eskinasi, that Pinchas was zealous on my behalf. The same word. He was a zealot. He was an extremist. He acted in an extreme manner. He says, I don't think the mic hears you since you're on the side. So that's why I'm repeating it, not making fun of you this time. So he acted in an extreme manner, and the Torah praises him. Hashem says, I give him a covenant of, I grant him my covenant of peace for what he did. So in this case, extremism was a good thing. Okay? So we're going to explain here about this good spirit of being zealous as we go through. Alan, please begin on page 705.
The suspicious spirit. Hashem spoke to Moshe, saying, Speak to the Israelites and say to them, This is what should be done. Should any man's wife stray and be unfaithful to him, and a man lie with her carnally, unbeknownst to her husband, and she was secluded and defiled, but there was no witness against her, and she was not seized. If a spirit of jealousy had come upon the husband, and he had warned his wife, and she was defiled, or a spirit of jealousy had come upon him, and he had warned his wife, and she was not defiled, then the man shall bring his wife to the priest and bring her offering for her, 1/10 of an ephah of barley flour. He shall neither pour oil over it nor put frankincense on it, for it is a grain offering of jealousies, a grain offering of remembrance, recalling iniquity. The priest shall bring her forth and present her before Hashem. The priest shall put holy water in an earthen vessel, and the priest shall take some earth from the tabernacle floor and put it into the water. These are the laws of the suspected adulteress, the sota. The word translated above as jealousy, kina, and the one translated as had warned, kidei, are from the same root. Thus, a more literal translation of the phrase in which these words occur would be, if a spirit of jealousy had come upon him, and he had expressed his jealousy to his wife by warning her not to be secluded with the other man. That's it. That's all she wrote.
Is that it? Okay. So a couple things before I go on. First of all, let's see how they translate it. I didn't learn this yet. This week's parsha, Pinchas, son of Elazar, son of Aaron the Kohen, turned back my wrath from upon the people, children of Israel, when he zealously avenged my vengeance. My vengeance. Is that vengeance or vengeance? There's no N. Among them. So I did not consume the children of Israel in my vengeance. Here there is an N. Because he took vengeance for his God, and he atoned for the children of Israel. So here it says vengeance, which also is the word kina. Is it? I guess so. And I told you, this is one of my top 3 quotes of all time. Extremism in the defense of liberty is no vice, and moderation in the pursuit of justice is no virtue. Who said that? Barry Goldwater, 1964 convention, and our Gabbai was there and heard it in person. He just stepped out. Oh, there he is. Yeah, he's there. Okay. Yes, our Gabbai was there at the 64 convention to hear Barry Goldwater's speech. But that's one of my top three. Okay, so now go ahead, continue. 706.
Our sages said that a man only warns his wife if a spirit of purity enters into him from heaven. This is based on the idiom, a spirit of jealousy had come upon him. It is considered commendable for a man to warn his wife not to be secluded with another man if he senses that she is becoming overly frivolous or flirtatious. We have seen previously how the feminine principle of reality can lose track of its purpose and misdirect its energies in the course of going about the business of expressing divinity in the world, and that it is the male principle's role to re-inspire her with the purity of intention his abstract orientation provides. The sages disapprove of a husband who is uninterested in the moral purity of his family, beginning with his wife. To be sure, a husband can delude himself into thinking an overbearing manner or unreasonable suspicion is a spirit of purity. There is therefore an opinion in the Talmud that the spirit that enters into the husband, causing him to warn his wife, is in fact the spirit of impurity. The sages therefore advise husbands to assume their wives are innocent of any wrongdoing unless they have clear justification to suspect otherwise. Even if the husband is convinced that there is cause for concern, he must first appeal to his wife privately to improve her behavior. If this does not work, he may proceed with the ritual if he is sure that his motivations are pure. He may not invoke the rite in jest, in anger, or in order to frighten her. Furthermore, the rite only works if the husband himself is not guilty of adultery. The Arizal now discusses what this spirit of jealousy is in mystical terms.
Okay, good, thank you. Number two, Yosef personified the highest standards of modesty. As a teenager with no family around, he was pursued by Mrs. Potiphar, a powerful woman. It would have been easy for him to accede to her wishes. Is that the right word? To accede to her wishes. How do you spell it? Accede. Accede. Which one? Which seed? Which seed? It would be easy for him to accede to her wishes with little consequence, but he exercised great restraint under duress and remained pure. He is associated with the sphere of Yesod, purity of the organ that is the interface between male and female and transmits male genes and DNA to the female seed. Now, the gematria of Yosef is 156, the same as Sion. Sion is the subsephira Yesod of Malchus that corresponds to the female reproductive organ. The word Sion means a marker. You might say Sion marks the spot, not X. It is ground zero. In this case, it's ground zero for interaction between Zerampin and Nukva. And of course, I'll explain a little more about Sion here and other uses of the word.
Know that Yosef manifested Yesod and that his numerical value is the same as that of Sion, 156, which signifies the Yesod of Malchus, while Yosef manifests the Yesod of the male principle which enters this Sion. Yosef is associated with Yesod because he exhibited sexual purity in the incident with Potiphar's wife, and Yesod is associated anatomically with the male sex organ. Yosef, Yud Vav Samach Pei, 10 plus 6 plus 60 plus 80 is 156. Tzion, Tzaddik Yud Vav Nun, 90 plus 10 plus 6 plus 50 is 156. The word for Tzion means point, sign, designation. It is also an appellation for the Holy Land. The Holy Land is the location designated for the revelation of Hashem's presence. Specifically, Zion refers to the inner sanctum, the Holy of Holies of the Holy Temple. We have seen previously how the Holy of Holies is considered the bridal chamber, where the marital union of Hashem and the Jewish people takes place. Zion therefore specifically refers to the female sexual organ, or the womb of the world, where reality is impregnated with divine consciousness and from which new divine consciousness is born and spreads throughout the world.
I read? Yeah, I read 3.
Yeah.
I think I found a minor error today. I didn't fix it. But keep an eye out for it. Like the word is. Okay. 4. Hashem's name of 52 corresponds to Nukva in expanded spelling. Zer Ampin transmits 3 names of 52 to Nukva for 3 levels of the soul, Nefesh, Ruach, and Neshama. 52 times 3 is 156, the same as Yosef and Sion. So now we connect it to the expanded spelling of 52. One moment. Yeah, okay, next, 156.
156 is also 3 times the numerical value of the 52 name, referring to the 3 names Havaya spelled out to equal this number that are given from the Yesod of Zer Anpin to the Yesod of Nukva. This is why the numerical value of both Yosef and Sion is 3 times 52, as is mentioned in connection with our exposition of Psalm 25, which begins, "Unto you, O Hashem, I lift up my soul." As I explained there, these 352 names are manifestations of Nefesh, Ruach, and Neshama. Psalm 25 is recited in the daily liturgy as part of Tachman, the penitential prayers recited after the climax of the prayers, the Amidah. After achieving total self-effacement and union with Hashem in the Amidah, we become acutely aware of our shortcomings, and for these we ask forgiveness in Tachman. Psalm 25 expresses remorse for sin and rededication to Hashem. We rededicate ourselves mystically by elevating our consciousness out of the world of Asiya and up through the 3 worlds into the world of Atzilus. By doing this, we arouse Hashem to forgive us. Thus, the elevation of consciousness through these 3 worlds creates 3 forms of arousal, signified by the 352 names mentioned here. The 3 worlds of Berea, Yetzirah, and Asiya correlate to the 3 aspects of the soul, Nefesh, Ruach, and Neshama, which manifest the 3 garments of the soul, intellect, emotion, and action, respectively. Significantly, the sin mentioned explicitly in Psalm 25 is in the verse, "Recall not the sins and transgressions of my youth," referring to sexual sins. Thus, the psalm we recite in order to arouse Hashem to restore our sexual purity is connected with the theme of sexual purity alluded to in the names of Yosef and Sion.
Yeah. Okay, now it's 5. In Zer Anpin, here he explains another connection to the number 156. In Zer Anpin are 5 states of Chesed and 5 states of Gvura. These contain a total of 10 names of Havaya. The 5 states of Gvura descend into Malchus, while the 5 states of Chesed are in the 5 spheros of in Zeranpin from Chesed to Hod. The 5 states of Chesed are transmitted to Nukva via Yesod. Yesod itself has a name Havaya, which makes a total of 6 names Havaya. I guess we're not counting the 5 of Gvura. And 26 times 6 is 15. Actually, 156. Thank you. Actually, 26 is half of 52. So 53 is 56, and 26 times 6 is also 156. Okay.
The fact that the numerical value of Yosef is 156 alludes also to the following mystical principle I have taught you. It should be 2. Alludes, I think so, yeah, 2. There are 5 states of Chesed and 5 states of Gevurah that descend from Ima into Zeranpin, which manifest as 10 names of Aya. The 5 states of Gevurah descend into Malchus of Zeranpin, while the 5 states of Chesed descend into the 5 sub-spiros from Chesed to Hod. All these 5 issue to Nukva by Yesod of Zeranpin. Yesod, however, has its own name Havaya. Thus, there are in Yesod the 5 name Havayas, manifesting the 5 states of Chesed that enter Zeranpin, and one of its own, giving 6. Their combined numerical value is thus 156. The numerical value of the name Havaya is 26, and 6 times 26 equals 156.
At the beginning, we spoke of the word kina, a husband who suspects or is jealous of his wife, which is also the word for the official warning not to seclude herself with another man. So kina would be jealous or zealous, and it's also the word for the warning. It's called kina. The gematria of kina is also 156.
156 is also the numerical value of the word for jealousy, Kina. Kina kuf nun aleph hey, 100 plus 50 plus 1 plus 5 equals 156. Hence, we have a direct connection between the sephira of Yesod, that is sexuality, and the idea of righteous jealousy.
Now, 7. The Zohar describes the following situation. A righteous person passes away. His soul enters Malchus. Malchus is then adorned with sparks of holiness, the soul performed throughout its lifetime on earth. Yesod is attracted to Malchus with all its adornments, and then interacts with Malchus. The expression of the Zohar is, a righteous person is garbed in kina. We've translated kina until now as jealousy. It really doesn't fit this context. A better translation might be passion, or in this case, righteous passion. In any case, the fact that the same word is used shows a correlation between relationship between male and female and the interaction that takes place between Zer Ampin and Malchus. And I will read their.
This explains what is written in the Zohar about Yesod. Then a righteous one dons jealousy. This passage of the Zohar describes what happens when righteous people pass away. Their souls ascend and enter Malchus, which adorns itself with the sparks of holiness these souls have elevated in their lifetime and brought with them. Yesod, seeing how beautiful Malchus has become by adorning itself with these good deeds, is aroused to couple with it. The term the Zohar uses for Yesod in this context is a righteous one, tzaddik. Righteousness is particularly associated with Yesod because the main test of righteousness is in sexual behavior. Thus, Yosef, the archetype of sexual purity, is traditionally called Yosef HaTzadik, Yosef the Righteous. The term the Zohar uses to describe Yesod's arousal to couple with Malchus is dawning jealousy. Jealousy is typically experienced psychologically by increased adrenaline flow and body heat, similar to sexual arousal. Until now, we have seen that the jealousy of Yesod is its insistence on purity in sexual behavior. Beyond this, there is a deeper connection alluded to here between jealousy and sexuality. Let us note first that in English, jealousy implies zealousness. And in fact, zealous could be a better translation of the root kina than jealous. We have defined the experience of Yesod as the drive for self-actualization and for the promulgation of the insight of divine consciousness to which one has been privy. In this light, holy sexuality is an expression of a person's passion for transmitting his personal division of divine reality to the world, either in the form of children that will be imbued with his values or metaphysical divine energy that will have a positive influence on reality, which we are taught is one result of marital relations conducted with love and proper intentions. Thus, holy, as opposed to mere bestial, sexual passion, is an expression of zeal and dedication. This perhaps explains why the Zohar here says that in order to couple with Malchus, Yesod dons jealousy, zeal.
Okay. According to this explanation, the word kina, which usually has a negative connotation, like jealousy, implies purity, even or especially in matters of modesty. When the Torah says a spirit of jealousy passes over him, the husband, it means the person has a feeling to maintain high standards of modesty as associated with the spirit of Yesod. Purity in relationship and interaction between male and female. This is what is meant when our sages say a man only warns his wife from a spirit of purity. Okay, go ahead.
This then is the mystical meaning of the saying, a man only warns his wife if a spirit of purity enters into him. For this spirit originates from the holy side, that of the supernal sephira of Yesod, identified with Yosef. Thus, the spirit of jealousy is the ideal of pure sexuality associated with Yosef and Yesod. This spirit of Yosef is manifest as its numerical correlate, kina, the jealousy that inspires a husband to warn his flirtatious wife not to seclude herself with her suspected paramour. Increasingly, the seminal episode of jealousy in the Torah is that of Pinchas, who was incensed over the sexual sins of Zimri and Kotzbi. Here, too, we find a link between jealousy, zeal, and sexuality.
Okay. So there you have it. A very interesting way to look at it, and also the connections, like with the numbers 156. We have a few of those. I thought I had seen a mistake. I did catch one little thing here, but I thought there was a word is anyway. So that is it. We have mincha in about 5 minutes. So thank you all. Okay, Rudy, you're flipping through backgrounds. Next week, no class. August 11th, no class. In between, we'll have a class.
You have a
Okay.
minion tonight.
Yeah, but next week, no class. That's what?